So, hey, good morning. Josh with Content Marketing Media, and I wanted to walk you through our newest workflow. Really, our goal here was we've created all kinds of workflows that create email copy, but we wanted to see if we could make that copy better. And then we wanted to do it from an affordability perspective, right? Because we kind of understand that when you start to do things at scale, this can get expensive. And so we've been pretty bullish on Cohere. And so today we're going to try to create copy using Cohere. And then we're going to do it with two different versions of their large language model. So Command R and then Command R Plus, which is brand new. They just released. So give you a little background on Cohere. They're an enterprise grade large language model really built for businesses. They're built into environments like Microsoft Azure and other cloud environments. As you can see here, this is their pricing. So $3 per million input, $15 per million output on Command R Plus, which is their newest model, and then about 50 cents and $1.50. So that seems expensive, but part of what we do in these workflows is track that so we can kind of see what the output is. And so we're going to walk through it live. This would be your normal inputs that you would need. Name, address, website. We normalize the company, we normalize the domain. These are all included with Clay. And then we have a Cohere prompt. And so this is called via API. And just to kind of give you an idea of what the prompt looks like, we like using the journalist persona. We're asking for in-depth research. We're telling it to visit the website, on and on and on. And there we go. So let's run that. And I'm going to change this to normalized URL because we did run a normalization. So let's do that and save. We want to get the best potential results. The nice thing about this is, and let me just show you a little of the detail here. In the API call we're going to make to Cohere, we've taken this a little bit further in that we're going to append the call. And this time we're going to use Command R plus. So this is their best model. We're taking that input, which is that prompt I just showed you, and then we're using their connector called web search. So very similar to ClayGent, except we're telling it only to look at the URL. So the reason why that's critical is it keeps it from hallucinating and going out and looking at other sources. And so let's give it a run. We're going to let that run, and we'll give it just a second here. Usually takes probably about 20-30 seconds. And while we're doing that, I want to show you, like, we're going to measure the cost here. So this is Command R, that's their most expensive model. And we're going to look at the input tokens because they're priced differently. The output tokens, we'll look at the cost calculations, which are some formulas we have here. And we will see the results that we get. So, and then we'll kind of move into the offer here in a second. But then simultaneously, we're going to run this as well on the regular Command R without the plus. So the more affordable model, because we want to see and get an idea of what the quality differences are between the two. So if you look at the output here, pretty in depth, it dives into a lot of what our company does, even citing case studies here. So pretty good output with Command R plus. I mean, ridiculously good. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to edit the API call so that we can run Command R and just see if we get much of a difference here. So we're just going to take off the plus here in the API call. We're going to hit save, and then we're going to run it again. So we'll get kind of a side by side and just see the difference. And cost wise, we were looking at input wise 3/100ths of a cent, 7/100ths of a cent. So I don't know why you wouldn't use Cohere at the end of the day for research. The input cost is actually the same, interestingly, even though we're using two different models, and then the output cost was a little bit less, right? So all up, this cost us 1 cent and less than 1 cent for both. If we look at the output on the regular model, looks pretty good as well, right? So they're talking about different articles that we put out, talking about our growth rate, citing case studies. So again, looks pretty similar. Like no disconcertible difference. Really, no disconcertible difference in the price either. I mean, I think it's 1/100th of a cent, maybe a little less than that. But so either way, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to pipe that into our offer. So the way we built this table, obviously it's customizable. So you can update this offer. I just put, something I was interested in, which is elite AI agents. Again, this could be your offer. I put a little blurb in there because that's how the prompt is structured, so that it combines the offer with the research to create the copy. And so, as you can see in the input here, uh, this is a long prompt, and that's the nice thing about Cohere is that it has huge context window inputs. And so it's taking the prompt that I wrote and injecting the research here. And that's what's making it even more dynamic. So as you can see, this is a different prompt because it's got different research inputs, right? But these are big prompts, but they're structured very intentionally to really try to create copy that's humanistic, right? Or sounds like I wrote it versus, a lot of the copy we see with AI, a lot of the emails we all get, they're just very robotic. And the goal here is to create the best copy that generates replies, right? And generates conversations. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come into the API call here, and we are going to look at, we've got this set up for plus. The difference is we've now taken our prompt from the email input, and then we're taking the same approach. We're pinning it to the URL. And so let's run this one first. And I can tell you, because the prompt on this one is definitely more detailed, we're injecting that whole output from Cohere. It's going to be a little bit more expensive. I've seen probably somewhere between 4 to 5 cents, but it may be less. We'll see. And then, and yeah, and you can see right here, it's done, and it's about 4 cents. And then the total of this would be really almost exactly 5 cents, right? So this total lead would have cost us 5 cents. Now, before we look at the output, let's go ahead and run the other one. And we're going to change this again to Command R. We'll take out the plus, and we'll just see what the difference is in the price and the output. So we'll save that. We'll run it, and we'll take a look at the difference in the output. So same inputs, except for, right, one's inputting from Command R plus, one's inputting from Command R, and then, but the prompting's the same. It's just the injection of that input is a little bit different because it was used by different models. Interestingly enough, Command R seemed to have cost us more in this case, right? So this is one of those things with large language models, you never know. The token calculation on, let's look here. So the input tokens were, a little bit greater. So we had obviously a longer output, and the output tokens were different, right? So let's look at, at the end of the day, believe it or not, Command R cost us more than Command R plus, which is a little interesting, considering the pricing differences, right? But that's what comes with these large language models. So, 5 cents, 9 cents a model is, a lead is expensive, but let's look at the output, right? At the end of the day, that's what matters. So if we look at the first one, we're seeing content market media's innovative strategies and understanding of digital landscape caught my attention. Your recent success in helping a B2C client gain hundreds of thousands of lost monthly visitors showcases your ability to turn them around. At company name, and again, this is part of the prompting. I'm doing my own business, so that's something I can fix. But we share your competitors' elevating brand. In fact, let's add this as a column so it's a little bit easier to read. And then let's look at it this way, right? So really, other than just injecting the company name here, which we could do, in our email system, I think it looks really, really good. It looks humanistic. So it's talking about the innovative strategies. It's talking specifically about a client and a case study, which is super powerful. We share a commitment to elevating brands. Our elite AI agent suite streamlines organizations by automating processes and reducing manual tasks. We could believe this could be a valuable addition to your toolkit, enhancing the service you offer your clients. Our proposal is simple. By integrating AI Agent Suite into your service offering, we can work together to maximize brand potential and help businesses thrive. I mean, this is really good. Like, this is exciting, to see, because it sounds like a human. It doesn't sound like AI. And I think that's really what we were trying to accomplish here. And then let's look at the other one as well. So it looks like it's a few more paragraphs. I've researched content marketing media in which to propose a business collaboration. Yeah, I don't love that, right? That kind of sounds robotic. The recent success in enhancing online presence and establishing authority. So I don't like the third person aspect of this, or I guess that's, yeah, second or third person. Um, so this one's okay, right? So interestingly enough, right, this one was more expensive, right? So it just shows you, at the end of the day, like this one costs 9 cents, this one costs 5 cents. I love this one, right? I think it would be great to utilize and just highlight, what we can do. So um, that's what really this was experiment was about. I think it'll give you a good understanding of large language models are tough. You can definitely do this with GPT and other models, but if we're going to kind of push the envelope on creating great copy, I think we need to continuously look at the models that are out there, evaluate the cost, and really determine like, is it giving us the result we're looking for, right? Because I always like to test on my own company. Obviously, this is not something we offer today, but it's definitely something we can inject to test different outputs. But this is, I think, a good worksheet to just evaluate Command R and Command R plus, see what kind of output you're getting, what the token cost is, and if you can utilize that to create copy at scale, right? And I really like, at the end of the day, I really like this output because it's very humanistic, right? I need to, figure out how to get rid of this here, but that's large language models, right? When I tested this before, it wasn't injecting company names, so I think you're constantly going to tweak and look at improving your prompts, but uh, I still am pretty bullish on Cohere and the value that it provides, and I just don't see any model out there today that provides as detailed research that does not leak or doesn't have leakage and continues to just get better and better. And, at the end of the day, the pricing for Cohere, depending on how much prompting you're injecting into it, especially if you're just doing like LinkedIn or some similar smaller type data sets. I mean, my outputs are a little bit more expensive because you have to think about what we're injecting into the prompts. I mean, it's paragraphs and paragraphs of information. But when you compare that to other models like GPT, they can't even call the web, right? So then you're using ClayGen. You're balancing that with leakage or hallucinations because you need something that you can strap to a website versus having to go out on the web and finding potentially information that's not relevant and then ending up in your copy and killing your offer. So I'm really excited about the output here. We'll keep refining it, but I think we finally hit a point where this copy is pretty phenomenal. It's highly relevant. It speaks to an exact case study that's highlighted on the website, and it's dynamic, right? We can use this, and we are using it for thousands of leads a week. So hopefully this helps, and appreciate your time.